Hi, it's Ken Ham and I'm down here at the Ark Encounter site. Had a couple of special friends come in today. This is Marty and Miriam, and they're from Wisconsin, from Watertown, Wisconsin. Marty is the president of Maranatha Baptist University, a Christian university that takes a stand on a literal Genesis. And because they dropped in visit and I was coming down to the Ark anyway to do a live broadcast, I said, hey, come down with me and I'll show you the construction site. And let me see, my microphone's here. But
hey, this is fantastic. You've got to see this. Nothing like this ever to be seen again. Come and see it. Thank you, Ken, for all you're doing here. It's great.
Well, what we're going to do today, let's walk out the back here. I want to show you the three towers. Yesterday, I was at the front of the Ark, and at the front of the Ark, we looked at just the whole structure of the Ark, and then we walked through the exhibits. Today, we're going to walk out the back, and I want to show you the three towers. Actually, if you look over to my left and we'll zoom down there, you can see the restaurant. You know, that's a 1,500 seat restaurant, and that's dwarfed by these towers, let alone the Ark structure itself. And so as we go back out over here towards the petting zoo, you see there's a lot of work going on. Amazing amount of work has been done at the front, and they've got a lot of the blacktop down. The lake is starting to look really nice. Once they get the vegetation around the lake, I mean, it is absolutely phenomenal. But these three towers, the Ark actually anchors to these three towers, and the towers then keep the infrastructure like restrooms and the elevators and the stairs outside of the Ark. This is the bow. They've finished the planking on the other side of the bow. This is the unfinished side, and they're going to start on that right now, basically, and to get that planking done. You can see the restaurant. So look at the size of that bow compared to the size of the restaurant. The size of the restaurant is 1,500 seat restaurant, and they're just finishing up putting the deck on the outside. The inside is basically almost finished. We'll scan back around here and just give you a look at these three towers here. If you put these three towers together, they're about the size of a 200-room hotel. So let me see. When will it be open? It's going to be open July 7, and several from our church are coming. Yes, people are commenting. That's great. Let's look at the three towers here, give you an idea. You'll be able to see the Zipline Tower. That's the beginning of the Zipline Tower down there. But that is down at the stern end, and we see the three towers here that the Ark anchors to as we come around, and then we can see I'll tell our videographer to go a little slower as he zooms around, or you get seasick. So, okay, so let's go down here to the petting zoo. I want to show you what they've done. There's a petting zoo and a zoo. It is absolutely remarkable. And our own team, our own staff have built all this. They've done it all. So as we walk down the road here, they're going to put the blacktop on the road that goes down to the petting zoo. The whole place is handicapped accessible. Of course, you have to build everything ADA compliant today, which is exactly what we have done. And they'll be able to come all the way to the petting zoo on the blacktop. And then there's a special hardened path through the zoo that you can use wheelchairs on as well. So they're just putting all the gravel in place right now, getting that rolled, ready for putting the blacktop on this. Looks like we have good weather over the next few days, so they should get this finished. It doesn't take them long once they get that gravel down and get it rolled. It doesn't take them long to put the blacktop down. So as we come over here, see them working. Now, the barn with the nice wood on the outside, that is actually the petting zoo, and then there's an area at the back of the petting zoo as well that they go outside for the petting zoo. As we come down here, we'll go inside and I'll show you what they've done here. Down past where I am, we'll see if we can, they're just getting ready to put in the posts and the fence, but you can see a little staging area there. That's where the camel rides begin, and then they're putting donkey rides over here. There's going to be a figure-8 camel ride, and then donkey rides here as well. And the donkeys and the camels will go in this building over here. We'll go and give you a look inside this building. Now, this building won't be open to the public. It's going to give you a look inside here. There's a lot of heavy machinery working around here. So let's go over and you'll see where they've got the stalls inside ready for the animals that are going to come in here. the donkeys, the camels. I'm not sure what else they're putting in here. And they've built all this, and you can see they have the gates on the stalls in here right now as well. So we'll move out of here and let's look over at the petting zoo. We'll go over here. We'll have to keep out of the way of all this heavy machinery right now. The trucks coming in, gravel. So let's walk over here. This is where the camel rides will be. We'll walk over past that without tripping over here. Okay, so they're getting ready to put the final fence in here for the camel ride enclosure, and then the donkey rides. You can see they're getting the fence up for the zoo. So we'll cut across here. They've already put trees in, gardens in. I mean, one day I come here, there's no gardens. The next day I come, they've got all these trees in, a watering system in. So the petting zoo is this big building over here, inside there, and then down the end where you see some vehicles parked, it comes out there and they're penning that off. This is the actual zoo part here. And I know we've got kangaroos and yaks. We've also got zebras. I'm not sure what else they've got. They've got a number of different animals, and then animals for the actual petting zoo itself. And you can see here how they're getting the road done and the fence here. And the interesting thing is, when I was down here at the petting zoo a couple of days ago, they didn't even have the fence in. Now look at it. Well, this is not the petting zoo. This is actually a zoo, and we're calling it Ararat Ridge Zoo. Will you have security checking bags before people are allowed to enter the buses to ride to the Ark? Think of security issues. Hey, in this day and age, you know, we have a very visible public safety at the Creation Museum, and yes, in fact, there's very strict regulations and rules about what bags people are allowed to bring into the Ark property. Our security team, including our canine units, will be over where people board the buses before they can travel on the mile road. It's actually a treat. Going down that shuttle road and coming across the creek and then up to the Ark itself is a real treat in itself, riding on those buses. So you can see here, as we walk down, people will be able to look in these enclosures and be able to see all sorts of animals, be able to walk down one side and then the other side. And they've already fenced off the acreage they need here. Over time we'll increase this, of course, but it's going to be a different sort of zoo actually, and people are going to love the animals we have in here and the way they're able to get up close to them. And we have some animal specialists who know how to train animals, look after them. Even in these pens here, there's different sorts of gravel or soil or whatever it is they put in there for the different sorts of animals. Certain ones need a different sort of bedding. It's all drained as well. Just a lot of great things going on here. Okay, so somebody's asked me, wouldn't all the money used in this be better used for, I don't know, helping the sick or funding the poor? You know, I get that. We get that question a lot. Let me ask the person this. Have you said the same to every other project in America? I mean, last night I read on Fox News they're spending $100 million looking for aliens in outer space. So I presume that person has also commented on that. Wouldn't that money be better spent on the poor? Or what about, there are churches that spend $30, $40, $50 million on an auditorium. Or what about Hillary Clinton spending $2 billion on her political campaign? Or what about all the other money spent by Trump? Millions of dollars on the political campaign. Or what about a cruise ship? Some of those cruise ships take $1 billion to build them. I mean, that's just for entertainment. Maybe they should be giving all their money to the poor. And here's the other interesting thing. Not only are people inconsistent, and they seem to only point that out for us, and you have to ask why. Is it because of our message? Is that what it is? Because we're going to get the message out in such an impactful way. But the thing is, 143,000 gifts were given for this project, and that represents over 43,000 households actually, And it was funded by people giving an average of $270, and many of those people actually helped the poor through their churches, in other ways, to a much greater extent, and they decided they wanted to help people's spiritual health, and so they gave a small amount, an average of $270, to build a major facility like this, plus the larger portion is actually a bond offering where people said, instead of investing our retirement money in the world, let's invest it in something Christian. And you know, Answers in Genesis helps the poor in many, many ways. In fact, through our BBS program over the past 2 years, we have actually provided nearly 3 million meals through the Children's Hunger Fund for hungry children around the world. So yeah, I get a little annoyed when people ask that question because they're so inconsistent, and it seems they always try to make out that it's the ark that's a problem. What about every other project in America? What about the millions of dollars spent on other things? People just need to be consistent and logical, and I wonder when those people ask that question whether they're helping the poor anyway. That's another question to ask. So, hey, maybe I was a little harsh on that today, but you can tell I've been asked that question a number of times by certain people, and it gets old, to be honest. It really does get old. This is going to impact people's spiritual lives for eternity. In fact, what is the value of one person's life for eternity? Think of one person coming to the Lord, and I've already heard of contractors here who have been challenged by this. One contractor who became a Christian just working here. There's lots of other testimonies, let alone what the ark itself is going to do. And with the Creation Museum, hey, we heard the same criticism when we built that, and we've heard so many testimonies from people, someone who said they brought their non-Christian father and they became a Christian after going through the Creation Museum. I remember a man who brought 2 exchange students from Japan, and he said in the parking lot at the Creation Museum, one of them prayed with him to receive Christ as Savior. And so, hey, this is going to be an incredible project to reach even more than... how many Christian facilities could reach up to 2 million people a year is what the projections are from the researchers. Up to 2 million people a year. How many Christian facilities could do that with a message that's going to impact them for God's Word and the Gospel? Okay, enough of that for the moment. Let's look over here through the trees. You can look back at the sail on the bow end. That's 10 stories off the ground, and if you look carefully you can see there's actually a lift up there. They're starting to put the roof on the sail end. You can see a person up there. If we can zoom in on that, we'll see how far we can get in. You can see a person working up there because they are tethered. You might be able to see it, but I can actually see it here. They've got one of those rope harnesses on, and they're tethered actually on a safety harness. And we've done that with all the people working on the ark. We've got all that safety equipment for them. You can see here the restaurant through the trees, and then that's a 1,500 seat restaurant, and then see the bow of the ark up there. And when you see that lift up there, and there is a person there that if you're up close, there he is, there's a person standing up. See the size of that? And imagine, you can, let me go around here a little bit further. If we look through the trees, we should be able to zoom in. You can see the deck. See the deck of the 1,500 seat restaurant. You imagine sitting on that deck looking at that bow coming right at you there. Well, let's move on up here. Getting ready to put the rest of the fence here for the rest of the zoo. Let's see, we might have some other questions here. Hundreds of jobs for Kentucky, Ohio. Yeah, you know, the interesting thing is that the secularists complain that because this is a Christian facility, we're employing Christians, and that is true, and we're allowed to do that, and the judge ruled on that recently, of course, because Title VII and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, we can certainly do that. But the point is, it's created all these jobs for people who are Christians, but the majority of jobs are actually created outside of the ark. In fact, the projections by those that did the economic impact study is that the Ark and the Creation Museum together over 10 years will create up to 20,000 jobs and have a $4 billion impact. And that's the thing, you know, we were looking at a property in Indiana that was courting us to actually build the Ark there. One of the things that attracted us to this area, well, it was the tax incentive. It's a rebate on sales tax. I saw again today some atheists on YouTube who are going to be coming out and protesting the Ark. And they're trying to raise money, and they said because they've been using government funds to build this. What a load of nonsense. That's one of those myths that's out there that the secularists keep propagating. Totally privately funded, no government funds used whatsoever. The tax incentive is performance-based. It's a rebate on the sales tax in the facility. It's only sales tax paid in this facility you even get the rebate on. And it's over 10 years. It depends on how many people come to the Ark, what you get. So the atheists continue to spread absolute lies about the tax incentive. But I guess that's what they want to do, because they just don't like the fact that Christians have such a major facility that's going to get the message out in such a big way. And so the number of jobs created now for Kentucky is phenomenal. If we didn't build this place here, not only would there be no jobs for the Christians that are going to be working here, but there'd be no jobs for anybody else either. It'd be in a different state. And so people need to get real about this. This is bringing incredible economic impact. In fact, the economic impact up to $4 billion over 10 years of the projections by the economic experts. Just amazing. And it's going to bring lots of jobs, create lots of jobs. So we are going to walk back now over towards the Ark again. So we couldn't, I'm trying to read this, it's in the sun. We couldn't have thought of a better use of $3,000 of our own money. We were so glad to do it. That's probably someone who bought a boarding pass, a lifetime boarding pass that their children can also use. They can bring their whole family, and then their children can inherit that too. Those boarding passes are no longer available, but yes, quite a number of people, quite a few thousand people actually bought boarding passes as a legacy for their family. And what an investment. What an investment in eternity. Again, as I said, one person turning to Christ to be in heaven forever, there's no value you can place on that. I mean, even the $100 million spent on this, even one life turned to Christ is worth more than $100 million. That's for sure. There's somebody else here saying, if I can read it, will the Ark Encounter add new attractions yearly, continually expanding the park? If so, what types of attractions could be added in the future? Yeah, good question. This is only the beginning. We've already got plans. In fact, we've already got permits to develop over 200 of the 800 acres here. There's 800 acres altogether. And so they're going to start on phase 2 pretty quickly. It's going to be the walled city. And then we're going to have a Tower of Babel. And after that, a first century village, and there's an amphitheater, and there's all sorts of things. So this is just the start. This is bigger than the size of many Hollywood attractions right now. And when you walk through the Ark, I was just, again, as I was walking through today and seeing all the exhibits that are now installed, I'm realizing it's actually, I don't know, I think most people are going to find one day is just nowhere near enough for this facility. I think it's going to take 2 days. In fact, let me ask my friends here, Marty and Miriam, who are with me from Wisconsin. What do you think?
Oh, you really should plan a couple days. You really should.
I said earlier to Ken that this is going to make a difference in so many people's lives.
Yes.
Young people will come here and they'll remember this experience.
Oh, yes.
And if they don't have answers in the future, they'll know where the answers to be found.
Right.
And it'll be indelibly marked upon their mind that this is true, this is real, and a whole lot of people believe the Bible.
And Marty, for those of you who joined in a little later, Marty is actually president of Maranatha Baptist University,
That's right,
Christian
yes.
University in Wisconsin, Watertown, Wisconsin.
One
of the few, one of the handful of Christian universities that take a stand on literal Genesis. And you won't allow staff that don't, right?
No, everybody at Maranatha believes in a young earth, 6-day creation. Everyone would support this ministry on that doctrinal basis, yes.
And we didn't even have time to, well, we couldn't read all the signs. They still got a lot of the signs covered up, and they didn't have the videos running today. And even then, it's taken us a couple of hours just walking through, and we skipped a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
The workmanship is exceptional.
Yeah, the workmanship is exceptional. I see they've got the planking almost finished on this side of the stern down there, and you know, they finished it on the other side of the stern. Basically, they finished the port side of the Ark, and so we're on the starboard side. Let me ask my photographer. That's correct, isn't it? This is the starboard side.
Starboard over here.
Yeah, starboard side over here. You can see that area between the two towers. They're filling in with all those wooden planks there, that's where the queue line ramp is, right there. So we're going to walk around here. Let me see, because I just put down that blacktop. If you want to see a look at the lake, we'll walk around this way. We might be able to see what's done. They have cleaned up the front so much in just today. You know, and people come and see, you know, piles of dirt and rubbish and so on. That's what it looked like out the front yesterday. They've cleaned it all up. And the lake, now that when they get those plants around the lake, it's, I think there are people that have been skeptical. You sure this is opening July 7? Absolutely. And I know the people that are working with all the contractors, and we've got it all scheduled out. And many of the inspections actually start next week. So we've got another group of carpenters coming in and to get the rest of this planking done here on the bow end. Okay, again, look at the size of that restaurant. 1,500 seat restaurant. It's a 2-story restaurant. So that's 2 stories. Then look at the size of this bow here. So that's from ground level to the top of that sail up there is 10 stories. And it dwarfs this 2-story restaurant over here. So let's walk around here and see if we can just show you an update from the front. I think we got another question or two here. So RV park, to spend extra days. We don't have an RV park ourselves. I know there's RV parks around here. If you call our customer service line, go to arkencounter.com. That's our website, arkencounter.com, and you can talk to a customer service person who will tell you about camping grounds in the area, RV parks in the area, bed and breakfasts in the area. They've got a list of all those. And when you go to arkencounter.com, we have a third party agency that is looking after all of the hotel bookings, and they're listing all the hotels on there, and you can go through them for those hotel bookings. So let's go out the front here. This is, by the way, this is the gift store area here, and it's got these double electric automatic sliding doors in here. It's a massive gift store in there that they're getting ready. So let's go around the front here, see if we can sneak across here. Putting down blacktop, so we can get a little picture of that. So come out here, and I'm walking along the side right now. Underneath the arc, you can see the arc above me as it curves down here. The arc sits 15 feet above the ground. See all these piers? They go 15 feet up, and they go 4 feet into the ground, sitting on solid rock. So as I tell people, it's all sitting on limestone. This entire Christian facility is sitting on the rock. And I think that's very, very apt for a Christian facility to sit on the rock, because the Bible describes God as our rock. And as we go down here, all this enclosed area to my left, by the way, is the gift store area. And we're just looking over at the lake. So here we are looking at the enclosed area is the gift store area. And let's just stand here for a moment, and I'll get Peter to turn around. And you can see they've now got the blacktop in around this side of the lake, and they've got the topsoil there ready. So as soon as they get this blacktop finished in the next couple of days, they'll then come in and put the landscaping around the lake. So, and over the other side, they've moved all the timber that was left over and all the construction equipment that was over there. That's all been cleaned up. These piers you see here, that's going to be a ramp, and that ramp will then go up to the big door in the side of the ark. That ramp will not be there when we first open. We've just got it ready. It'll be built sometime after we open. But we're back up now to this area where the queue lines begin. These are queue lines under here to the left. And they're getting the blacktop now to go around the lake. You can see they've cleaned up that lake, got more blacktop to do on the other side. It's going to look really beautiful. They've got plants already to go in there around the lake. It'll look like a mature lake once it's done. So we'll go down here and see if we can just see the stern. They finished the planking on the stern down this end. Let's go and have a look at that, and then we'll finish this live broadcast. So let's go down here. Okay, they did this blacktop yesterday actually. Now I've got to find my car. I left my car where they were clearing the gravel, and oh, they've moved it. I see where they moved it. Okay, I can find my car. There's so many vehicles around here. I think yesterday they had 380 or so construction workers here. So you can see this area yesterday was covered in bits and pieces of timber and pallets and leftover construction material and construction equipment, and it just looks like this looks totally different. So let's look back here at the stern. You can see the stern. They've now got all the planking on the stern here. They're almost finished the planking on the other side. And we'll just give you a bit of a video sweep down the whole arc here. And then I'll end this broadcast here from Williamstown. There we go. So arkencounter.com, it opens July 7. Starting to see it all come together now, and saw that inside today, saw it all coming together as well. So go to arkencounter.com and you can see your ticket options there. We're adding some new ticket options as well over the next week or two. You can just turn up, of course, and buy your tickets at the ticket booths over in the parking area, and that's where you then hop on the bus and you take a shuttle over to the Ark. But like all themed attractions, there are going to be rules as to what people are allowed to bring in, so make sure you check those. And one of the most asked questions I get asked is, it handicapped accessible? The answer is absolutely. We have to do that anyway today, and we have guest services people, we have a lot of those that will look after anyone like that. So we want to be servants to the people who come. So with that, I'll sign off here from Williamstown, Kentucky. We're just south of Cincinnati, halfway between Cincinnati and Lexington. Go to arkencounter.com. You can find lodging there, the ticket options there, more information about the Ark Encounter that opens on July 7. And if you call our customer service line, you'll see the number there on the arkencounter.com site. You'll be able to find out more information about campgrounds and RV parks and bed and breakfast in the area. And when you come, I encourage you to get a combo ticket to the Creation Museum. It's 45 minutes from here. Two of the world's leading Christian attractions. And I again say to you, I believe one of the best value tickets for you. Have a look at it. It's a 7 consecutive day unlimited combo ticket. Over 7 days you can go back and forth to Ark and Museum as much as you want, and the parking is included in this unlimited ticket. It's $99, and then you can do other things in the area. We always encourage people, hey, look on Northern Kentucky as your vacation destination. We have the Newport Aquarium, the Kentucky Horse Park, we have the Cincinnati Zoo, we have Kings Island, the Dayton Air Force Museum, which to me is better than the Smithsonian. I know millions of people go to the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. The Dayton Air Force Museum it's actually free, and it's incredible, biggest in the world. It's a walk-through, World War I, World War II, the space age. Has every plane just about you've ever seen invented, many you will never seen before. One of the planes that even dropped one of the bombs over in World War II in Japan. And it also has the Wright brothers artifacts there and all about them, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It's one of my favorite places to go. So is the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington. I love going there, seeing the horse programs, biggest such horse park in the world. I think it's the only one in the world actually. So there's a lot to do around this area, and for the first 40 days we have 40 days and nights of entry. So you can actually come for the daytime entry, which is from 9 to 4 p.m, or the evening time entry from 5 to midnight. But if you got the unlimited ticket, you can come to daytime, evening time, back to the museum, back and forward, go to other attractions, and do whatever you want, and parking would be included. So with that, ArkEncounter.com. See you here at the Ark Encounter sometime, and we're ending this live broadcast from Williamstown, Kentucky.